asks for a 15K raise to come back into the. I was hired on with a hybrid schedule. 3 days in the office, 2 remote. This worked with my wife's and child's schedule. A few months ago I was asked what it would take to come back to the office 5 days a week, and I told some a 15K salary increase. Months went by without an update and I thought they just forgot. Until last week. My boss called me into the office and said they'd be able to give me 10K, not the 15K, since it was lower than I asked for. I said at the moment I can only come in for 4 days a week. He asked how soon until I can make it 5, and I didn't confirm on anything. Am I the asshole for not coming back in for 5 days because they gave me less than I asked for? BTW, nothing is in writing. This was all done taking to my boss one-on-one. Until it's in writing you don't even have the 10. I mean, this is what will happen. Year end comes and you ask for your yearly raise. They will go, lol, no, we gave you a raise we believe covers your next few years well. How soon until you can make it 5 days? As soon as those extra 5K come my way. Not the asshole. It's called a negotiation. They countered. You countered. An agreement was struck. How does that make you an asshole? I would have asked for more. How much of that 10K will you actually get in pocket after fuel, wear, and tear on your car and childcare? Does an extra 10K even cover the extra time it takes to get to work for those extra days across a year? Honestly, for $10,000 more pay, I wouldn't even give them an extra day in the office. Sure, it covers the extra expenses and more. But being forced to go to a specific location for a job I can do perfectly well from home is so demoralizing. To put it into perspective, an extra $10,000 a year is roughly $192 extra per week. Before taxes. This whole RTO push reeks of desperation to maintain control over their worker drones. And frankly, any employer pushing it without a very good, tangible reason can fuck right off. They asked what it would take to move from 3 and 2 office remote to 5 and 0. You gave them your answer. They offered 2/3 of your request, and you've given them half of what they requested. Currently you're up on the deal. Not the asshole. A shrewd employee who sticks to their offer and doesn't undervalue their worth. Fuck that shit. RTO is a big scam, but at least you got a raise for some of it. 15 was the price 3 months ago. At 7 inflation, it's gone up. Don't do more than 4 days in the office until they come up with the extra $5,000. Otherwise you'll be telling them that any terms you set can be overcome with sufficient whining. This needs to be in writing. Send a confirmation email and see what happens. I'm curious. What is it that they think they're gaining by paying extra to have you in the office those extra days? What did they tell you? Get it in writing. When my contract says 15K, you have 5 days. The answer. Always get it in writing, otherwise 10K becomes the raise for 5 days. This return to the office shit is the worst. My team is all back in the office 4-5 days a week, but thankfully I don't work in the same state as the other 20 members of my team, and my office is at a remote location that doesn't really have much to do with my role, so I just don't come more than 2-3 times a month, and even then I can't wait to go home to get some work done. You said $15,000 in January, it's 20K with inflation. When they add another 10K, have a written offer, don't trust them. I'd be very clear with the boss. I clearly defined and agreed to the 15K increase for coming in full time to the office. This causes undue hardship for me in regards to additions, fuel expenses. wear tear on my vehicle, mental health between me and my wife, and additional childcare expenses. If you wish for me to come in for 10K bonus, which is 5K less versus what we agreed upon verbally, then I can only come in 4 days a week. Let me know your thoughts by replying to this email. Thank you. No, you told them your terms. Don't fumble the extra 5K. You said 15K, you should mean 15K. How soon until you can make it 5 days a week? As soon as you can make it 15K instead of 10. Am I the asshole? For not coming back in for 5 days because they gave me less than I asked for? No. Your employer confuses me. On the one hand, they must really believe in RTO. Like, deeply. Which would mean they're stupid. On the other hand, they actually seem to value their employees. Which would mean they're smart. Anyway, not the asshole. You don't owe a company a favor. Look, you could have demanded 100K a week and a laminated pass that gives you permission you to sleep with their spouse once a month scot-free, and I still wouldn't call you the asshole. You think your boss would lose a wink of sleep if you agreed to come into the office for free? Negotiations are war. Is this position something that requires a pretty specific skill set? Or will they be able to replace you without much effort? I'd be curious to see the contract verbiage if they've already implemented the raise. They're not likely to just let you go for too long of a period without coming back into office 5 days. You can come in the 5th day whenever they come up with the last $5,000 lol. Yeah, you might have it on your paycheck, but make sure it is guaranteed. Don't ever doing anything through word of mouth. You don't even have to come in for the 4th day. You were hired to work 3 days in the office. They asked what it would take to work 5. You told them and they refused to pay that amount. Case closed. If your skills are that much in demand, I'd start looking elsewhere for work. Keep with a hybrid or full-time work from home situation. Save time, money, your mental health, physical health, and the environment. Also, people rarely factor the dramatically higher risk of injury or death that comes with commuting to work on a daily basis. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I get it. The 15K was basically a no. If you hold out a bit more, you might get the 15K when they give you the extra 5, but if it's been a while, adjust that for inflation. Boss asking you to come back is like, you got leeway. I don't what is 15K, but I hope you win at least 20 something, so they try to negotiate just beneath. The fact that you even got 10K is more than most jobs are willing to do. I'd say 4 out of the desired 5 for the 10K is a fair negotiation. You can't do 5 because if your wife and kids, and it seems they've kept their promise of 10K. Just make sure to have the agreement in writing or through text or work email just in case they stop paying and try to deny the agreement, and if they say you don't have a contract you can at least sue. Since there was an agreement, though I do advise you get a contract so it is a lot easier for you to sue. Did your boss provide a good reasons as to why they need you in there 5 days a week? No? Didn't think so. Don't agree to anything that is ridiculous and unnecessary. The pandemic changed the world permanently. We're not going back to a 1950s 5 days a week in office world ever again. Your boss went to bat for you and was successful. In other companies, they'd simply say, well, this is the policy. So it's either come in or go. It's not ideal, sure, but the market is insane right now and you don't want to be looking for a new job. They didn't give you exactly what you wanted, but they did try, and that does matter. I'll be able to come in 5 days a week as soon as I get the additional $5,000. Not the asshole. It is a negotiation and you agreed terms.